Good day, viewers, and welcome to another OnSide SA soccer show. Paul is unfortunately caught up in traffic, so I will be doing the show alone with our regular UK correspondent, Stevie Braham, where we'll be going over the internationals, the European qualifiers, and I'll be going through the CAF World Cup games that start this weekend. But we kick off as always with our last one standing competition, and heading into week 12, we had 18 entries. 11 were successful. 3 were on Man United, 2 were on Arsenal, 2 on Aston Villa, 2 on West Ham, and 1 each on Everton and Liverpool. The unfortunate guys were 3 on Brighton, 3 on Crystal Palace, and 1 on Notts Forest. We finally have a ladies' winner, and our Texas resident Cindy Rydell won the prize. Congratulations also to our 2 ladies that did get to round 12, which is a great achievement, them being Pauline Young from the UK and Blair Miller. The guys that went through, we have 3 internationals still left: Neil Horsman, Mark Rogers, and Ashley Rushton from Florida in the US of A. While our South African remaining entrants are former champions Sean Matthew and Brett Galley, Bruce Armstrong, Kevin Rice, Mark Fuljoen, Sky Shabalala, and Lawrence Verners. The guys that also are worthy, in my opinion, of a special mention are the 7 guys that went out. They are John Finlayson, Jason Nell, Beto Quintus, Conrad Roos, and Michelle Narak, alongside our 2 ladies, Pauline Young and Blair Miller. Our next competition starts next Friday on the 25th. So guys, you will all be reminded, so let's get studying. It's not going to be easy, especially in round 1. We now cross over to our UK correspondent, Stevie Braham. Steve, nothing worse than an international weekend, is there?
No, and especially one where a lot of them are sort of pretty much dead rubbers as well. Yeah. So teams will be going through the motions a little bit, having already qualified.
Yeah, there's only one. Israel have played 2 games. They lost 2. I think it was Kosovo, and they drew with Switzerland last night, 1-1. So
yeah, they play again. I mean, obviously, I think they've got their minds on other things. It's difficult. So I suspect qualification will be difficult for them.
Anyway, we kick off. There are games on tonight, but we won't go through them because by the time the show flights, several of them could be finished. Anyway, the betting for Friday, and there are plenty of them. We'll go through 14 of the games. And the first game up is Kazakhstan against San Marino. 1-33, Steve. Hard to make any money out of that.
No, exactly. I think that says more about San Marino than it does Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not the strongest team, Kazakhstan, but then San Marino are sort of ranked in the bottom, 3 or 3 of the world effectively. So I think that Kazakhstan will win that, but I don't think it's a game that I'd be watching on TV if it was on.
Yeah, if I was having a bet, it would be over 3.5 goals to get any value at even money, but really tough. But it does 5 o'clock South African time kick off. Steve, Moldova, Albania, that should be a good game.
Yeah, I think this would be one of the closer games. Albania, for me, would start as favourites. Yep. But Moldova at home, capable of holding them. But I think if there was to be a winner, I'd go with the away side this time. Yeah,
I fancy Albania. That young boy Broja, who came on for Chelsea, he's the man that leads the lineup, and they're going well. If they win this, they qualify. So, geez, great incentive. I fancy Albania 8-10. I'll be having an interest on them. Steve, I've hummed and hawed about this one. Northern Ireland, I did watch the last time. I thought they would have a chance, but they were woeful. I'm all over Finland. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think at home Finland should be too strong. I mean, they've been disappointing in recent years, Finland, but I think they'll be too strong for Northern Ireland. Who have you said? Yeah. Very disappointing campaign for them this time round.
Yeah, got to agree with that. Fancy them all day. Now, England, Malta, Steve. We've been WhatsApping each other. Would you, if I'm Harry Kane, surely you got to look to start, score a few goals and then save himself for North Macedonia. But you seem to think he's going to go the other way, Gareth Southgate.
Yeah, I've just got a feeling that he's going to rotate. He's going to give quite a few of the fringe players a run out on Friday. I suspect he probably feels that whatever team he puts out will be too strong for Malta. And if he needed to, he could bring some of the big names on. Harry Kane's had a busy season already. Played a lot of games for Bayern Munich. I think I wouldn't be at all surprised he rests him from the starting 11, but plays him against North Macedonia. And I think that he'll do that with quite a few of the players. I wouldn't be at all surprised. We might even have one or two make a debut. But certainly, I think he's going to play a lot of the fringe players.
Now, for me, I would go the other way. How do you know how good the fringe players are? I'd rather play them in North Macedonia, which is a better test, than playing against a Malta team who they beat 4-0 in Malta. So that's the way I would go, Steve. We took -5, England to win by 5 goals at like 12-10. If they can't put 5 or 6 past Malta, I've done my money. Italy, North Macedonia, Steve. North Macedonia stuck them out the last World Cup, but they seem to have lost a few players. Surely the Italians have got to get through this one.
Yeah, I think so. Italy, obviously, you want to make sure that they qualify, having lost at Wembley in the last game. So, as you say, North Macedonia knocked them out the previous competition. I can't see that happening now, and I think Italy will be too strong at home.
Now, they should be. They drew 1-1 away in North Macedonia. So if the Italians don't get through this, my Juventus boys will be going absolutely berserk. On to the second page, Stephen. One of the few games, as you said earlier, that has meaning is Poland, the Czech Republic. If the Poles don't win this, they can't qualify. But can you see them winning?
I think they can, but they've had a very, very disappointing campaign. Obviously, you've got sort of Lewandowski sort of leading the line, but otherwise, really disappointing. And I think the Czech Republic will be thinking, well, they could, might be able to get a result there. I still think that Poland at home, knowing that they have to win, I think they might just do it. But it's going to be a close game. Yeah.
Bookings are a formality in that game, but I've just got a sneaky feeling the Poles will win it. Denmark, Slovenia. Steve, Denmark, I know the 2 Man United guys are out. At home, they don't get beat too often. I think 5-10 isn't a bad price considering the other odds are available. How do you see it going, though?
Yeah, I think Denmark should be too strong. Again, they've not had the best campaign compared to some others, but I think they will be too strong at home. I think whatever team he puts out should be too strong. Slovenia, not a bad side, but I think in Copenhagen, I think they'll be too strong.
Yeah, 7-10, Denmark to score over 1.5 goals. That's my play in that game. Armenia, Wales, Steve, big game for both teams, but with Wales on level on points with Croatia, they've got to win this, otherwise they won't qualify.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think this is a huge game for Wales, and I think they've got to go there and have a real go. Armenia at home, not the worst side, but I think Wales have got to impose themselves and play as they did in qualifying and for the World Cup. I think they can do it. They've got the players, or they've certainly got the belief. That's for sure. But I think it's going to be a tight game. I can't see it by more than if Wales were to win, it might only be by a goal.
Yeah. I just think Armenia have got to go for it. Yeah, they're on the outskirts of the playoffs, so they can't sit back. And I went for Croatia to beat Wales last time, but Wales caught them on the break a few times, and I think that's what they'll be planning here. I think there's going to be goals in this because they both got to go for it, but 9-10 Wales inviting. But I'd rather go both teams to score at the same price. Latvia, Croatia, Steve. After Croatia ruined them qualification hopes last time by losing in Wales, surely they've got to get back to winning ways here.
Well, you would think so. Otherwise, I think it's a lot of those Croatian players that we've been watching for years. I think this would be certainly their last campaign. Latvia at home, again, not the worst side, but I think Croatia know what they've got to do, and I'd be very surprised if they don't get a result there.
Yeah. Steve, I'm surprised Belarus are 6-10. I know the game has been played in Hungary, but Andorra are no great shakes, and while Belarus aren't the best, surely they've got to beat Andorra.
You would think so. I mean, Andorra have surprised people and, pick up the odd point here or there. But I think Belarus will be too strong, even if it is being played in neutral ground. So, there's probably a bit of value there for Belarus, especially if you're looking at more than one goal. But I think they should win.
Yeah, it's just under even money, Belarus to score over 1.5 goals. So that's definitely in my play for the weekend. They drew 0-0 in Andorra. I think it's a plastic pitch. And I can't believe Belarus. It's like 15-10. I saw Belarus to win by more than one goal. So I think that's great value for the international break. On to our final page of the weekend. And Netherlands team who I just can't catch, Steve. But Republic of Ireland, they're having a great campaign. Surely the Dutch have got to win.
Yeah, you'd think so at home. I mean, the Republic have really not had a good campaign, and they haven't travelled well for quite a while. I think the Netherlands should be far too strong. You know, there's a lot of players there that we know, and I suspect that I can see them winning by more than a goal.
Yeah, me too. I think of Northern Ireland, Republic of Ireland may score. I saw 3-1 Netherlands to win and both teams to score yes. So that's my suggestion. But I'm going to have a couple of interests on 2 players to score if they start. And Virgil van Dijk's 5.5-1, and so is young Ferguson from Brighton. Because if anybody's going to score for the Republic of Ireland, it's going to be him. So I'll have a couple of interests on those 2, but it should be the Netherlands all day. How many can the French put past Gibraltar?
I think as many as they want, really. It's if they really go for it. And again, I suspect they may well rest a few anyway, but you can see them sort of, getting 5-6 easily. Yeah. Gibraltar will be game, but they're not in the same league. So, I think France comfortably by as many as, they really want to go for.
Yeah. To win by minus 5.5 goals is even money. So that was our play. But as you say, Steve, you never know with the French. Sometimes they take the foot off the gas and they feel sorry for their opponents. But they won 3-0 away. I think this is a 6-7 job. Switzerland, Kosovo, Steve. Switzerland played last night. They drew 1-1 with Israel. If they get a result here, they qualify as group leaders. Can you see them doing it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's not been, they've not walked away with the group as you might have expected with Switzerland, but they're the strongest team in the group and I expect them to win at home.
Yeah, totally agree. 3-10 isn't the greatest, but to score over 1.5 goals, I saw 5.5-10. So if you do want to have an interest, that would be the way I would go. Last but not least, Steve, Israel, Romania, big game. I fancy Romania. Which way are you going though?
Yeah, I mean, Israel have obviously played 2 games in the last few days to sort of catch up. And I think that Romania realised that, this would be an opportunity for them to qualify. So I think if there was to be a winner, normally I would have picked Israel at home, but I think that Romania might just get a result there.
Yeah, they just need a point to qualify automatically. And the game is being played in Hungary, guys, so just bear that in mind.
Neutral ground.
Yeah. On to League 1 and League 2. There's only a couple of games because a lot of the clubs have players involved in these internationals. So the first game up, Blackpool Shrewsbury, Steve. The Tangerines at home. Hard to beat, surely.
Yeah, they are. And, they're having a reasonable season. And Jordan Rhodes, who scores goals for fun and having a purple patch this season. Shrewsbury had a good result last week. They came from 2 down at home to Reading to win 3-2 with a couple of very late goals. But I think at Bloomfield Road, I think Blackpool will be too strong. Yeah,
totally agree. And Shrewsbury's last 6 away games, they've got 1 point and they've only scored 1 goal. So that further consolidates Blackpool's 6-10 value. Stevenage, Lincoln, Steve. Stevenage, 8-10, a bit short.
A little bit short, but they're having a decent season, and at home they're quite strong. Lincoln got a last-minute equaliser last week to get a point. I think of the 2, I fancy Stevenage, but be a close game, maybe no more than a goal in it.
Yeah. Accrington, Stanley Wrexham, guys, just check the betting on players available, but can't believe we got lost in Accrington years ago. There's only 2 roads, 1 in, 1 out, and we ended up going right by the stadium. Wrexham, I know they played in midweek. How do you see it going, Steve? There's definitely goals in this particular game.
I think so. I mean, Wrexham, are the form team. 5 wins and a draw in their last 6. Accrington are having a good season. Hard to beat at home, but I fancy Wrexham, and I think there's value there in those odds. Yeah.
Gillingham, Salford. That's the Man United guys. Salford City. I never catch them, Steve. Gillingham. How do you see it going?
Yeah, they started off really well, Gillingham. They've sort of faltered a little bit. Salford, as you say, hard to predict. 1 week they get a result, the next week they don't. I think of the 2, you'd probably go for Gillingham at home, though.
Yeah, and last but not least, Barrow versus Crawley.
Yeah, I think Barrow having a reasonable season, and they're certainly strong at home. I would of the 2, I would certainly back Barrow as to win.
Yeah, 7 home league games, 3 wins and 4 draws. So I don't see them getting beat. But really tough in the League Two, League One. We don't see many games, and obviously we don't follow it because we do the Championship and the Premiership. Steve, short and sweet, it's pressure time again. Who are you going for?
I'm going to go for Barrow at home. They're unbeaten at home. I know they've drawn a few, but I think they should be too strong for Crawley.
Yeah.
And my value bet is going to be Wrexham.
Yeah.
You know, I think that the way they're playing at the moment, they've got Paul Mullin was back. Whether he's fit, he's playing, but they score goals for Wrexham, and I fancy them to go there and get a result.
Yeah, I've gone the international route, Steve. I'm going for Finland at 9 to 10. I was going to go one or two others, a little bit lesser odds, but, we've got to be round about even money for our best bets. And I'm chancing Romania, with Israel's busy schedule and what's going on with them. I don't think they can qualify at the moment, but I'm taking 16 to 10, 15, 16 to 10 Romania. So that's my suggestion. But let's have a look, Steve. England will be both watching tomorrow. It'll be interesting to see the team. But if Harry Kane starts, I'd love to know what price a Harry Kane hat-trick will be, because...
I mean, there is an opportunity for him. Whether the fact that he is now England's leading goal scorer, Gareth might feel that he doesn't have to sort of play him necessarily to break that record. I wouldn't be surprised maybe if he came on, but I think he's going to play Ollie Watkins as the number 9 on Friday.
Yeah, really interesting. They should beat Malta whichever way it goes, but not a weekend I'm looking forward to, especially on the gambling side of it, Steve. These results are really at times hard to dictate, but we always have a go, and what can we do? Steve, enjoy your Fulham training ground experience, and try and get a few tips who they're going to sign, yeah?
Well, I'm sure they're not going to share that with me, but you never know. I'll certainly ask a question.
Share it with us in South Africa. We need to know everything about Fulham. You've got a few extra Fulham fans in Durban, Steve, so keep the boys informed.
Absolutely. All right, I'll talk to you soon, Budge.
Take care.
Cheers, bye.
I think that's our regular UK correspondent, Stevie Braham. The CAF World Cup qualifiers have started. There was a couple of games last night, and there's plenty this weekend. And Bafana, 6 teams in a group, 9 groups. The winners qualify automatically. And having a look at our group, we got Nigeria, Zimbabwe, Benin, Rwanda, and Lesotho. Looks like we've only got the Nigerians to beat, even though the Zimbabweans will make it tough. So let's hope the boys can get off a good start. Anyway, on to the betting odds. And guys, please check, because the odds have chopped and changed every time I've got onto the website. But we kick off with Eswatini, which is Swaziland for the guys that don't know. This game is being played in Nelspruit. So just have a look at that. The draw in the first game, all the teams don't really want to get beat, but I'll be taking 11 to 10, both teams to score. Libya have a go. And Swaziland, while they've lost their last 3 home games, I just got a funny feeling they'll get a draw at least against Libya. Guinea, Uganda. Uganda, another team that don't give much away. Well, 21 to 10 looks a decent price. Guinea have qualified for the last few competitions, and they have several French players that at home I don't see them getting beat, but Guinea in the draw for me. The Comores against the Central African Republic. The Comores have improved of late. Another game where the odds 17 to 10 does give it away. I think this has got 0-0 written all over it, and at odds at 5 to 1, I definitely think it's worth a go. Zambia won their last 3 home qualifiers, and against a Congo team who are poor travellers, 8 to 10 may be a decent price, but there again, in all you exotics, I would definitely add the draw in. Liberia against Malawi. Liberia watched them lose at home to Bafana and Morocco, but playing a Malawian team who are no great shakes and have only taken 1 point from their last 3 qualifiers, this could be chance for Roger Weir's team to kick off their campaign with a victory. On to our final page of the weekend, and Ghana against Madagascar. I took over 2.5 goals, both teams to score no at 28 to 10. Ghana had a great World Cup. They really played well. And Madagascar, I just don't see them scoring, and it should be a matter of how many can Ghana score. Ghana to win by more than 1 was even money, but I've gone for the jugular. 28 to 10, over 2.5s, and both teams to score no. Burkina Faso, Guinea-Bissau, while it should be a tight game, I fancy Burkina Faso. Always hard to beat at home. 2 wins and a draw from their last 3 AFCON qualifiers. Guinea-Bissau, always dangerous. And if you fancy the goal aspect, both teams to scores 13-10, but I fancy Burkina Faso. Bafana, who play at Moses Mabhida on Saturday here. I know the odds 6-10 do look skinny, but with Mamelodi Sundowns in fine form and most of the guys playing for our team, we've surely got to beat Benin. 6-10, Bafana against Benin. Niger, Tanzania, a game that could go either way. Of the two, I like Tanzania, but 21-10 the draw is my suggestion, and a game that will obviously be tight. In Senegal, quality team. How do we get money against South Sudan? Back them to win by more than 2 at around about even money. On to our soccer exotics for the weekend, and we kick off with our score 6. Bear in mind, this is a Sunday bet. So we've gone that route because the Saturday aren't many decent games. So with a score 6, I'm going Hungary to avoid defeat at home against Montenegro. Likewise, Serbia, win and draw at home against Bulgaria. I think Belgium will be too good for Azerbaijan. I'm going the field in the Bosnia-Herzegovina Slovakia game. I'm banking Portugal to be too good for Iceland in the field in the Scotland-Norway game, 2-1-6. On to our second soccer 6 on the Sunday. I'm going Nigeria, win and draw against Zimbabwe, The field in the Burundi-Gabon game. Algeria to avoid defeat in Mozambique. 2 bankers, Hungary to beat Montenegro and Egypt to win in Sierra Leone. And the field in the Scotland-Norway clash, 2-1-6. On to our score 10 for Sunday. I'm going Hungary, win and draw against Montenegro. Serbia, win and draw at home against Bulgaria. Cyprus, win and draw at home against Lithuania. Belgium to beat Azerbaijan. Sweden to beat Estonia. On to our second page, I'm going the field and the Bosnia-Herzegovina-Slovakia fixture. Luxembourg to avoid defeat in Liechtenstein. The Portuguese to be too good for Iceland. The field in the Scotland-Norway match. And Spain to outclass Georgia, 288. And on to Sunday's Soccer 13, and there wasn't a Saturday one, otherwise we'd have given it to you. So we start with Sweden to be too good for Estonia. Scotland win and draw at home against Norway. Portugal to beat Iceland. Slovakia win and draw in Bosnia-Herzegovina. Serbia to beat Bulgaria. Hungary to beat Montenegro. Albacete win and draw at FC Cartagena. The second page, CDL Dens to be too good at home for Mirandes. Arbar to avoid defeat against Real Oviedo. Villarreal 2, which is the young start, to win and draw at home against FC Andorra. On to Portugal, where Penafiel to avoid defeat against Belenense. I'm chancing Maritimo to beat Torriense. And Man United women's team to avoid defeat in the local derby against Man City Women, 256 rand. On to our budgies bets for the weekend. I'm going Albania to win, England and France to both win by more than 4 goals, and the Netherlands to beat the Republic of Ireland and both teams to score, yes, 3,100 to 200. Euro goals quad. I'm going over 2.5 goals in the Kazakhstan San Marino, Armenia Wales, Belarus Andorra. And I'm going over 5.5 goals in the England versus Malta fixture, 4,300 to 200. On to our both teams to score sides. I'm going Finland, Northern Ireland, Denmark, Slovenia, Poland, the Czech Republic, and Armenia, Wales, 3,100 to 200. On to our Euro team goals only. All these sides to score over 1.5 goals. They are Finland, Denmark, Wales, Belarus and Switzerland, 4,100 to 200. On to our CAF treble, I'm going over 2.5 goals, both teams to score no in the Ghana, Madagascar and Cameroon, Mauritius games, and South Africa to beat Benin, 2,600 to 200. And our Collis King 6 or Nexa, I'm going Albania to beat Moldova, Denmark to beat Slovenia, Belarus to beat Andorra, Switzerland to beat Kosovo, South Africa to beat Benin, and Blackpool to beat Shrewsbury, 2,800 to 200. Guys, have a safe weekend, and please remember to stay on side.